Welcome to Cranston Municipal Court. You picked an auspicious day. We have a little more attention than we normally do out of the ordinary today, but that's okay, we'll get through it. We'll take things in this order. The media and several other media outlets are here because Cranston has enacted an ordinance against panhandling and other activities in certain areas of the city. I suspect that we'll arraign them just like we would. We'll take all six of those individuals in order first. We don't have any more trials, is that correct, Mr. Solicitor?
No trials.
And from that point on, we'll just take you in the order that you checked in. We find that that's the most fair. Okay, so having said that, we'll get going. We'll do the citations for solicitation on roadways prohibited first. Mr. Bedford, you're going to be representing these people?
Yes, Your Honor. Neville Bedford on behalf of the 6 defendants, one of whom is charged twice.
Okay.
You want to do one at a time?
I'm going to do each one of them one at a time.
Olivia Montier, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Montier, come on up. How are you?
Hi, thank you.
Good morning. Ms. Montier, Mr. Bedford has indicated to the court that he is going to be representing all 6 of you. I want to point out that you have an absolute right to have the counsel of your choice. If Mr. Bedford is the counsel of your choice, that's fine, but he will be representing 5 other people, okay? So in a minute, I'm going to ask Mr. Bedford and you, on the record, if you're prepared to execute an affidavit pursuant to Rule 1.7 of Rules of Professional Conduct, and affirm in writing, even though I'm going to ask you on the record here with the stenographer, that you waive any conflict that Mr. Bedford may have, representing all 5 or all 6 of you, okay? And what I mean by that is there is a potential in a lot of co-defendants charged with the same thing at the same time. And I'm not saying that's going to happen in this case, but you may well go, wait a minute, I didn't do this, my co-defendant did, okay? And therein lies a problem for Mr. Bedford that we're going to correct right here on the record first, all right? So let me ask you, are you comfortable with Mr. Bedford representing yourself and the other 5 individuals?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you recognize you have a right to represent yourself or hire another attorney?
Yes, sir.
And are you prepared pursuant to Rule 1.7 to execute a written affidavit to that effect for Mr. Bedford?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so having said all that, Mr. Bedford, what is her plea?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, that's her right.
I'd also like to inform the court that we believe there'll be some constitutional challenges to this matter,
We anticipate that.
and we've agreed to a trial date for all of these matters.
Well, we're not gonna try everyone on the same day. We're gonna try to break them up 3 and 3 if that's okay. I have available, counsel, 7/17 at 9 a.m., 7/18 at 9 a.m., or 7/20 at 9 a.m., or 5 p.m. So the 17th, 18th, or 20th, what would be your pleasure? And obviously, Mr. Mortier, that would be your discretion, whatever you
And that's
please.
a Monday, a Tuesday, and a Thursday.
Thursday we have 2 times, 9 o'clock or 5 p.m. in the evening.
I believe these matters, we may have a request to stay once a federal court, parallel federal court matter.
That's fine. You
That would
can
be-
feel free, Mr. Bedford, to do whatever you want. You go forward, everything you want. I'm going to run this court. We're going to set a trial date. They pled not guilty. That's their constitutional right. She's acknowledged you as her attorney. She's going to execute an affidavit acknowledging that you may have a conflict with some of the other co-defendants, or a potential conflict at least. So I'm going to accept her not guilty plea as to solicitation on a roadway prohibited. And I'm going to set a trial date. Again, I'm going to offer you 7/17 at 9, 7/18 at 9, or 7/20 at 9:05.
Let's put them all on 7/20 with 9 and 5.
Okay, so you want to split them up morning and afternoon? So what would you prefer for this
9
one? 9 a.m.? Okay. So we're going to set this down for trial at 7:20 at 9 a.m. Mr. Bedford, if you do have any action from the federal court, please inform this court as usual, my clerk, okay? Not a problem. Okay, so, Ms. Mooney, you pled not guilty. We set it down for trial at July 20th at 9 a.m. And today's date is 6/6/17. Okay, you are just checking with the clerk. She'll give you the court notice, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Barbara Fruscione, Your Honor.
Hi, Ms. Freitas, come on out. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you? Ms. Freitas, I'm going to ask you the same set of questions I did to your co-defendant. You're charged with solicitation on a roadways prohibited in violation of city ordinance. You have an absolute right to plead guilty or not guilty. Same questions I'm going to ask you. You want Mr. Bedford as your counsel?
Yes.
You understand, and you've heard my my explanation to your
Yes.
co-defendant that there may be a potential conflict. I'm not saying there is, but anytime there are multiple defendants and there's one attorney representing them, there's at least a potential for that, okay? So having said all that, I assume you're going to plead not guilty,
That's it.
okay? We'll accept the not guilty plea. Now, you've also heard me say you have an absolute right to represent yourself, correct?
Right.
And you also have an alternate counsel, correct? Right. You were telling me on the record that you are waiving any potential conflict Mr. Bedford may have in representing all 6 of you.
Correct.
Okay, and you're also going to provide to Mr. Bedford at his request, he will provide to the court a written affirmation of that, you're waiving all potential conflict he may have, okay? All right, and we'll expect that in the court at some point. Mr. Bedford's a very experienced attorney, he knows what he's doing. It's all pursuant to Rule 1.7, Rules of Professional Conduct. So, having said all that, would you like the trial date with your fellow co-defendant? Mr. Bedford has suggested 7:20, either at 9 or at 5.
Your Honor, I would prefer 9 a.m. just because it's the same officer as the other defendant.
Is that acceptable?
That's okay.
That's
9
fine.
a.m.
Okay.
That's fine.
So we'll put it down for trial on 7:20 at 9 a.m. for today's date. And you are free to go. Just check it with the clerk, get the notice for the court date, okay? You're all set. Thank you very much.
Gregory Morton.
Cranston, but other than that, I'm fine.
We're not going to have any commentary. We'll allow it. Police aren't here to defend themselves. And commentary is reserved, as I said, for a guilty with an explanation over there with the solicitor, or your commentary can come in testimony at trial. You have a very experienced trial attorney, okay? Today simply for arraignment, not guilty or guilty.
Yes.
What's your plea?
Not guilty.
Okay. Well, I'll accept that plea.
And Your Honor, just for the record again, this is also the same officer as the previous 2 defendants, Your Honor, so I would suggest if it's okay with my brother, the 9 a.m., July 20th, Your Honor.
Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll put the third one down to 7:20 at 9 a.m. with the same officer that's involved. Mr. Ward, you heard my explanation to your fellow co-defendants?
I did.
Okay, you understand you could have, represent yourself, first of all. If you have any counsel of your choice, is it your decision that Mr. Bedford represent you in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
You want to see in my explanation, just say to your co-defendants,
I did.
that when any co-defendants, when any number of co-defendants and one attorney, there's at least a potential for conflict of interest, and you're waiving and absolving Mr. Bedford of that duty, correct?
I am.
Okay, so you're going to exercise a written affirmation that's required under Rule 1.7 in his favor, waiving any potential conflict or conflict of interest, and you're going to get that to him, and he's going to get it to the court, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll accept your not guilty plea, sir. You can put down today's date. And we're going to put you down for trial at July 20th at 9 a.m. We have three other co-defendants, okay? Do me a favor, just see the clerk on your way out, you get your court notice. All right, thank you very much for appearing.
Melissa Dwyer, Your Honor.
Ms. Dwyer,
Yes.
how are you? Come on up.
Very well.
Okay. You also were charged with solicitation on roadways prohibited. I'm assuming you're going to plead not guilty, correct? You're also going to have Mr. Bedford as your attorney?
Yes.
All right, let me just jot down not guilty. All right, we're going to split the other 3. You mind 7:20 at 5 o'clock, or is this the
Is
same?
that okay, Your Honor? Yeah, that's basically 3 defendants, 4 cases, Your Honor, yes. 5 p.m., if that's okay?
Is that okay with you? Okay, so we'll do 7:20 at 5 p.m. Now, you heard me explain to fellow co-defendants, I'm just going to do that for the record, that anytime any individual lawyer represents more than one co-defendant, whether it's 2, 3, 4, or 5 in this case, there's always potential for conflict of interest. So I'm going to ask you on the record, you understand you have a right to represent yourself first and foremost, correct?
Yes, sir.
You have a right to get any counsel of your choice, correct? And you are going to waive any potential conflict that may exist in this matter in favor of Mr. Bedford, and you want Mr. Bedford as your counsel, correct? Right. And again, you're going to exercise a written notice or affirmation of that for Mr. Bedford, and he will forward that and file it with the court, correct? Okay, so we'll accept your not guilty plea. We'll see you on July 20th at 5 o'clock. And you are free to go. Just check it with the clerk, get your court notice, okay? Thank you very much.
Your Honor, Dwayne Clinker.
Come on up, Mr. Clinker, how are you?
I'm good.
Good, sir. Mr. Clinker, you're also charged with violation of city ordinance, solicitation on roadways prohibited. I assume you're going to plead not guilty, as your fellow co-defendants have?
I am.
Okay, let me just jot that down. Is 7:20 at 5 p.m., Mr. Bedford, acceptable for Mr. Clinker?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
we'll set that down at that time. Mr. Clinker, I've accepted your not guilty plea. It's your absolute right to plead not guilty and have a trial before this court and potential appeal if in fact you're found guilty. I'm going to say the same thing I have to your fellow co-defendants. You have an absolute right to represent yourself. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
An absolute right to have any counsel of your choice, correct?
Yes, sir.
You choose Mr. Bedford?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You understand that, as I said with your fellow co-defendants, there's always potential when you have more than one co-defendant for a conflict of interest, or at least the potential could arise. And you're going to waive that on the record, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're also going to execute an affidavit or an affirmation in favor of Mr. Bedford. You're going to get that to him, and he's going to file it with the court, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so your not guilty plea, sir, is accepted. The trial is set for 7:20 at 5 o'clock. You, sir, are also free to go. Just check in with the clerk, if you would, so that she can give you your court notice for this morning, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Two cases, Your Honor. Megan Smith.
Hi, Ms. Smith, how are you? Okay, you have two different violations. You have citation 04227 and 04553, both solicitation on roadways prohibited. I assume you're going to plead not guilty as to each count?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in each charge? Can you do so, correct?
Yes.
Not guilty? All right, let me just jot that down in each file. Is 7:20, Mr. Bedford, at 5 p.m. acceptable?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Smith, you heard me speak to your fellow co-defendants in court today, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the same set of questions. You understand you have an absolute right to represent yourself if you chose to do so. Also, you have an absolute right to have any counsel of your choice, correct? I'm assuming you can affirm on the record that Mr. Bedford is your counsel of choice, correct? All right, and you're going to, again on the record, waive any potential conflict you might have in representing one or more, or up to, in this case, up to 5 co-defendants with the similar or same charge, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you do that on the record?
Yes.
Can you do that freely and voluntarily, correct?
Yes.
And you're going to execute an affidavit in favor of Mr. Bedford, absolving him under the rules of professional conduct, particularly 1.7, and waiving any potential conflict he may have. You're going to get that to him, or he's going to furnish you, you're going to sign that, he's going to get it to the court, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you choose to do, correct?
Yes.
Okay, your not guilty plea as to each of the charges is accepted, set down for trial on July 20th at 5 o'clock on each of the matters. With Mr. Bedford as your counsel, just get that executed for him. You can see the clerk and get your court notice, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you for expediting these matters, Your Honor. I will present those waivers to the court.
I appreciate it, Mr. Bedford. Again, just let me know.
Keep the court abreast of any
I greatly appreciate it, my friend. Thank you.
And Your Honor, as we talked about, if they could all go to the clerk's office and just sign a notice.